On today's video, I want to discuss some ways to use a gobble call out there in the turkey woods. A gobble call is a call that I've been using for a really long time. I've been using it for 8 years now. It's a call that I've actually made personally. You can buy other gobble calls, but I just thought I would share some different ways that I use them and how they help me with my success in the turkey woods. So the first way I use a gobble call is locating. It's very simple. It's you use it just like you do any other locator call for that matter. What I like to do is actually like what I did this morning was I pulled in an area where I pull in the gateway of where I hunt at. I'll sit there and I'll listen for a little while for any gobbles, and if I don't hear anything when I think I should, I'll pull out the gobble call and I'll gobble on it. And this morning I actually pulled into a gateway and I gobbled, and I didn't hear anything when I first got there, but when I gobbled, one answered. And a gobble call is just a tool that actually kind of pries the gobbles out of them sometimes. I've used owl hooters, I've used coyote howls, and I've had a little bit of success with them, but not as well as I have with a gobble call. And one of the real reasons I started using it for locating was in the afternoons, roosting birds. In years past, it's just hard to get a turkey to gobble in the afternoons around here. It's next to impossible for some reason. But once I started using that gobble call, it's been a complete game changer when it comes to roosting birds in the afternoon. And we've just used it ever since, and we've had great luck with it. Another way I use it is just locating is I'll go on a property, I'll start walking, I'll walk down some old roads, I'll just hit different spots and I'll just gobble and see what responds sometimes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but it definitely can help you. So another way I use a gobble call is, this is probably the most deadliest way to use a gobble call, and that is sounding like a gobbler with a hen. And basically what I do is, if I'm by myself, is I'll put a mouth call in, I'll do some cutting and yelping, and I'll gobble right after. Sound like a gobbler responding to that hen. And it works if you have two people. Last year on Blaine's turkey hunt, I'll put the video up there, we had the turkeys behind us all morning for about 30 minutes to an hour. Well, it was probably more to an hour, close to an hour, but they'd been back there gobbling and doing their thing all morning. Down below us in kind of a river bottom, and we were up on the ridge in watching this field where we saw them the evening before. And Dad, we'd been calling for a while, and Dad, he actually reminded me, he goes, "Hey, try that gobble call and see what happens." So he yelped on the box call and I gobbled, and they answered. And then he yelped again, I gobbled, they gobbled back, and then before we knew it, one started coming right up to us. I mean, he was gobbling the whole way. He got up there and then seen old Bob the Strutter, and here he come right out there to him, and Blaine ended up killing him. So that's one way to use a gobble call. In my opinion, in the way I like to put it is, it's like carrying a gobbler decoy with you. That's handy. You're just painting that image of that gobbler. He's responding to that hen and he's coming to her, or she's coming to him. And especially if you get in their area, their little strut zones, and you do that, it can be a deadly combination. They don't want other gobblers in their area. It's a territorial thing, and they'll come in and try to kick whose ever butt it's gobbling over there that shouldn't be. So if you're struggling on killing an old gobbler, and you've tried to call to him and he just doesn't respond, try to call to him and use a gobble call, and and a lot of times they'll respond totally different than what you think they will. It's like you hooked him in the lip, and started reeling him in. It's a great tool to have, and it works even better. It works even better to paint that image by putting a Jake decoy or a gobbler decoy of some kind out there. So that's one way to use a gobble call, is you just sound like a hen with a gobbler. So the next way is just keeping turkeys gobbling. It's very simple. Basically, if the turkey's flat out and out in the field, you know they're gobbling and you're gobbling. A lot of times, if you keep that gobbling up, that back and forth, they'll keep it up for a long time. One example, we were hunting these birds for a long time. Wasn't having hardly any luck with them, and it was the last day of the season, unfortunately. And we were hunting these 3 gobblers, and we got set up, and they flew down out in the field. A lot of times when they flew down, they didn't gobble very long on the ground, and they shut up. And that's why we were having such a hard time with them, because they didn't answer the calls real well. And in fact, this was the first year I actually made the gobble call. But anyways, we were set up there, and we didn't have any decoys out because they're a little decoy shy. And you know, we started calling to them, and you know, they gobbled a little bit to it. And then I pulled up my gobble call, and I started responding to Dad's yelps. And you talk about open up the floodgates. They gobbled and gobbled and gobbled. They gobbled more than I ever heard them gobble, and it was insane. It was something I'm never going to forget. I can tell you that right now, because they gobbled out there in that field. I mean, I guarantee you, an hour and a half. I mean, it was crazy. And unfortunately, we had some weather coming in. I think it was a thunderstorm, and the lightning got real bad, so we had to leave. But so yeah, that's ways to use a gobble call, guys. It's very simple, very easy to apply out there, and you're out there turkey hunting. Definitely a gobble call, it works. Give it a try, guys, this spring if you're having a hard time with turkeys you're hunting, or whatever. It can definitely be a great tool to have in your vest. So guys, if you're out there turkey hunting, I'm jealous of you. I'm ready to get out there and get one or see one hit the dirt. So yeah. So good luck to you out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.